Which brings me on to a topic, an emotional one that I think might trigger a few little nerves inside you, Mum. I remember I rang you one day and I was really, really frustrated. And I said to you, I was like, effing kids, there's bloody stuff everywhere. There's toys here and there's shit here and this and that and this. And I was having a bit of a rant. And you said, Sam, I'll tell you something. One day you'll wake up and all of those toys will be packed away and there'll be no children in the house. And that hit me with 50 nails. I was like, wow, that's such a beautiful thing to say, because every time I see mess now, I embrace it. I experience it. I love it. I don't shy away from it, because I know one day, and I know these 4.5 years of Ozzy since he was born has gone like that. And before I know it, he'll be married, he'll have children, and he'll be out the door. So what I want to ask you is, and this is such a beautiful question, what is that experience like for a mother?
It's a very, very, very emotional question. I think you lose your identity as a mother because you're handing them over to somebody else, or they're living their life, which is, I think, the greatest gift you can give your child is to be totally independent. And when you do hand that over, it's like, it's pain because you've done your work, well, you've hopefully done the work the best way you can. But I always remember people saying to me, you've done a good job, they'll grow, they'll fly. But when they get to fly, it's so much pain comes with it because you've got to let them go.
Yeah.
I remember very distinctively you and Scott packing up to go around Australia. That was like, I bawled for 3 days.
Wow.
I thought, wow, I've got to this stage that they all talk about now. I don't want it. I want to go back to where I was.
Yeah.
Because I've got to let you go. But then I look at it now and I think, oh, wow, that pain was also worth it.
Worth every moment.
Because you're growing into wonderful young men, which is going to make me cry now. Part of you goes when they go. But it's extraordinary because you watch them grow into the people they are today. And in those days, mothers, I remember sitting outside the swimming pool all day and crying because you'd all gone.
Yeah.
There was no more swimming club. There was no more soccer club. As you said, I was probably a driver in sports. No more soccer club, no more tennis club, no more little athletics, which was huge because my whole life was work, getting you kids to every single thing that I could give you, Stedford's, music, probably too much because I probably cooked you in a way.
Absolutely.
But you're rising at 4:30 and I see that board now and I think, wow.
Yeah, that's why.
That was something that I actually thrived on, and I still thrive on it.
Yeah.
And my mates still say there's something wrong with you, a cookie. But it's just, and my father and mother were the same. So I've learnt those and I'm grateful to them for that I have that energy. And you've all got it. You probably some days wish you didn't.
No, I love it.
But it just, you lose who you are when they go.
Yeah.
And then you've got to rebuild yourself again. And for me, because then Dad got sick and I lost my identity again because I was in another workforce in those days. I went to the council, changed my whole mindset, went to a different world. And I remember you kids saying to me, Mum, there's more for you. Why don't you go and give something else a go? So then I did, which was big for me in those days because I hadn't been to an interview for 25 years. But I embraced it and I loved it. And then that was a really big milestone too, was letting that go.
Yeah.
When you said, Mum, you have to write that resignation letter and hand it in, even though they denied me and they said, you're coming back.
Because of the value you brought. Yeah.
Anyway, but then I started to find a part of me that I reckon had been there a long, long time, but I'd never seen it because I'd always been working, raising children.
It's like that saying, a door will only open once another one closes. And I think for you, children leaving, it felt like for me that when we left, it was the first time you could actually breathe and go, oh, what about me now? You know, it wasn't about anyone else because...
Very confronting.
Very confronting. And I think it would be for anyone, for man and a woman, especially when Dad left the business.
Oh,
That identity piece, and I know that firsthand, and I am only a young man. When I left FB drilling, it nearly broke me. And I was only 30 at the time. Imagine being in your 60, twice the age, leaving something you've done your entire life, raising children, running businesses, or dad leaving the business. It's an absolute credit to you, and I think a lot of people would experience that. So, so, so on that, so as difficult as was, the kids left, or we left.
and I floundered for a fair while.
Yeah, which you would have. How did you find yourself? Like, what was? Because I feel like a lot of people would spiral down.
I
know?
certainly did that.
Yeah.
And I remember going to my mother and saying, Mum, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. And she said, you'll find a way. Trust
beautiful.
yourself. You'll find a way.
Go do.
Go do. I think I just went back to my self-reliance again and thought, rightio, well, what are the things that I love? Let's work on those. So
Yeah.
sport, once again.
Yep.
Probably not running, which I've just come back into thanks to you and Jenna.
Thanks to Jenna.
Thanks to Jenna. I don't know. It took me a long time to come back. Really did. Because
When do you think the switch was? Like, oh my God, now I get to just do whatever I want. I can.
I reckon it's taken me a couple of years.
Yeah.
But then I had Dad sick, so that
That's
sort
true.
of was
A
a
lot of your
big,
focus was there.
a really big focus on me and it still is a bit, but not as much because we're finding our balance too. You know, like I say, it's like opening an envelope. I never quite know what I'm going to get every morning, but that's okay because that creates who you are today as well.
Yeah.
So every experience is a growth, really.
Yeah.
But I think I was just saying to Max before, I think I'm only just starting to get a bit of a tip of an iceberg of what I want next. Like it's just starting to flow now. It's taken a
Funny
while.
you say that because actually that makes total sense. So how long since? Well, we left years ago, but since retirement, really,
5 years.
5 years. So it's really
This year coming?
So 5 years. And I remember when I left the business in 21 and 26, so 5 years. I remember it took me 2 years to transition from using my hands to using my mind. It was 2 years. I remember it clearly. Not just shifting the cognitive part of my brain, but also the physical part of me waking up in the morning and go, oh, I need to do something. So yeah, it's amazing how it's taking you 5.
Well, I had Dad in the mix there too, so I
True.
suppose I got
But what I'm saying is that conditioning and that
to get out of your nervous system.
letting
takes
go
a
of
long
that
time.
constant rat race, the children, like that's a long time supporting everyone else. But now it's about you, which I think is beautiful. And I love how you can feel it in your body when you say, I'm at the tip of the iceberg, I'm ready to go. So what's motivated you over the last 5 years since retirement? Like,
Well, I suppose I don't know. That's an interesting question. I don't know. I've always felt like there's a drive within me to do things, but this time it's like not about everybody else. It's about finding my journey going forward. And I think in the last 12 months I've discovered even more, thanks to Jenna and you, for that incredible journey of solitude of racing and doing it on my own and finding a piece of myself that I never thought was there. It's been a big year this year.
the big Mount Kosciuszko run last year, the 30K, congratulations.
Yeah, I think that
was massive.
I had to disconnect from my friends. I had to train in the dark. And I remember Jenna saying to me how hard it is to run in the dark and just be on your own. And I think pieces of myself are starting to find themselves a lot more now because of that journey.
Yep.
Even though a few of my mates said I was cooked and different for doing it, but I think it's actually probably one of the best things I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
Thanks to you and Jenna and Scotty, who was supposed to race, and Min had already run a race, and you who've run. It's a really, really different journey. It's a lonely journey, I think, in a way. But then in that loneliness, you find more of yourself.